GBS. A very good evening and a warm welcome to GBS 9. Language interpreter is Alan Kiama. We have a lot lined up for you here tonight, but first, here are the highlights.
This court finds that whenever a compelling reason is established, the court should not just deny bail, but must deny bail.
6 suspects in Albert Ojwang's murder case deny charges as case reignites national concern over police accountability and use of force.
First of all, we are running dangerously late in starting preparation for elections in 2027.
IEBC deadlock as Speaker Wetangula warns that time is running out for the 2027 election preparations. Iran strikes Israel with fresh missile attack hours after Trump's ceasefire claim.
We improve on as many of our sports facilities and stadia in Kenya as possible.
FKF Premier League champions Police FC meet the president for breakfast in State House, Nairobi.
To begin our bulletin, with just 2 years to the next general election, National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula is raising the alarm over delays in the reconstituting of the IEBC. Wetangula is warning that time is fast running out for critical election preparations as court battles continue to stall the swearing-in of new IEBC commissioners already vetted and approved by Parliament. Here is more on that story.
With the clock ticking towards 2027 general election, concern is growing over the delay in reconstituting the country's electoral body. National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula says the country is running out of time to prepare for the next polls. Speaking during a meeting with outgoing U.S. Acting Ambassador Mark Dillard, Wetangula pointed to the legal battles that have stalled the swearing-in of new IEBC commissioners, even after they were vetted and approved by Parliament.
First of all, we are running dangerously late in starting preparation for elections in 2027. We are late for review and delimitation of boundaries.
Yes.
For both constituencies and civic elections wards. We're running late in enlisting voters.
The Speaker noted that thousands of young Kenyans are now eligible to vote but haven't been registered. And while the register still contains names of deceased persons, a risk, he says, could compromise public trust in the process.
Because we have a huge young population who have come of age and who have not registered as voters. They must enter the voters' roll. Our courts have said that we should not interfere with the voters' register at least a year to elections. They need to clean up dead voters, enroll new eligible voters. And I thought we were coming to an end of getting IEBC in place, but litigants are still rushing to court.
On May 29th, the High Court issued conservatory orders halting the swearing-in of the nominees until a case challenging their appointment is heard and determined. President Ruto had named Erastus Edung Ethekon as the next IEBC chair, alongside Ande Rito, Moses Mukwama, Mary Karen, Hassan Noor, Francis Odhiambo, and Fahima Abdallah as commissioners. Wetangula insists a well-trained and fully functional commission is critical, and while disputes are inevitable, he says a strong electoral body can still deliver a credible election even under pressure. Susan Nganga, GBS News, Nairobi.
6 suspects, including a senior police officer, have today pleaded not guilty to the murder of a teacher, Albert Ojwang, whose death in police custody has sparked national outrage. The case has intensified calls for accountability amid growing concerns over police brutality in the country. Here is more on the same.
Criminal case number E10 of 2025, Samson Kiprotich Talam.
6 suspects, including the officer commanding station of Central Police Station, Samson Talam, have pleaded not guilty to charges related to the murder of secondary school teacher Albert Ojwang. The group appeared before a Nairobi court where they also requested to be released on bail, a move that has sparked outrage among the victim's family and civil rights groups.
I urge you in developing the jurisprudence as is an obligation over you, that this court finds that whenever a compelling reason is established, the court should not just deny bail, but must deny bail. That where we have established a compelling reason, the court's hands are tied and it must deny bail.
The suspect's legal team insists on their innocence, arguing that the charges are politically driven and that the evidence is circumstantial. However, growing public pressure and nationwide protests led to the interdiction of several officers. Right groups continue to demand transparency, accountability, and swift justice in a case that has come to symbolize deep flaws in Kenya's custodial systems.
Persons are facing a possible death penalty, and this is a critical consideration that this court should address. Secondly, in regard to the 4th accused person, the 4th accused person is a deserter from the National Police Service.
The 4th accused.
The 4th accused. We've attached a police signal that declared him a deserter, a signal from the GSU commandant. This is, of course, a person who clearly is not willing to submit to lawful authority.
There is growing national concern over rising incidents of police brutality and unexplained deaths in custody. As the legal process unfolds, many are watching to see whether this case will mark a turning point or just another chapter in a troubling trend.
Just note that we do not have to fight over that there is already jurisprudence in place. You will agree, in fact, you...
Tension is brewing in Kirinyaga County as members of the County Assembly demand answers over the exclusion from a major climate action program launch. The MCAs accuse the county executive of sidelining elected leaders and mismanaging funds meant for local climate resilience. Susan Nganga brings you the details from the heated debate in the County Assembly.
Members of County Assembly in Kirinyaga County are demanding answers, accusing the executive of sidelining them in a key climate change initiative launched last week.
Leo tunagawa majiko ya gesi ya Meko. $5,800.
The uproar follows the launch of the Financing Locally Led Climate Action Program led by Governor Anne Waiguru. The program is meant to support local communities in adapting to the effects of climate change. But according to several members of County Assembly, what was supposed to be a community-driven initiative turned into a top-down event organized without the input of elected leaders or ward climate planning committees. Murinduko Ward Member of County Assembly, Charles Nyamunyaga, who brought the issue before the County Assembly, claimed MCAs were only sent vague invitations with no agenda.
Another question, Mr. Speaker, now that the ward planning committees were not involved in coming up with the beneficiaries, the list of beneficiaries, who came up with this list of the beneficiaries? How many people from Muridoko, Mutivi, Moamongo benefited from these cooking cylinders? What is the role of one Chief of Staff, Mr. Jared Washira, who organized all the coordinators who are the employees of this county to come up with the list, as it is being said, to come up with the list of the beneficiaries who are to get the cooking gas cylinders.
Several members of County Assembly also shared similar frustrations. Nyagati Ward Kennedy Mwendia said he found his constituents had attended the launch, yet he himself wasn't informed or involved.
So it's a bit not in place, Mr. Speaker, when I'm also invited in such a function, Mr. Speaker, only to meet my people who represent Mr. Speaker. And there was no consultation. But I meet my people there in Nyangati, Mr. Speaker. I wonder, who is this person who knows my people than those who elected me, Mr. Speaker?
Honorable Timothy Kariuki, chair of the Assembly's Environment Committee, questioned the budgeting and accountability behind the program. He says the Assembly never received a formal work plan, and now no one can explain how decisions were made or how over 130 million shillings was spent.
It is true, Mr. Speaker. This was a budget of 2023-2024, which costed 131 million, Mr. Speaker. And the item that we could see in that field, Mr. Speaker, as the chair, they cannot be worthy 131 million, Mr. Speaker. So we need accountability, we need transparency, and Mr. Speaker, you know we had a bill. And the Ward Committee, Planning Committee, Mr. Speaker, that's a very important committee, Mr. Speaker. And that day, they had different priorities, Mr. Speaker. And I don't know where this common priority of cooking gas cylinder came from. Because every ward has its own priorities. I don't know who changed this priority, Mr. Speaker, that were given by the Ward Planning Committee, Mr. Speaker. We need to know who changed these priorities. Because different ones, they have different priorities, Mr. Speaker.
The members of County Assembly says the items handed out, including gas cylinders, dam liners, PVC pipes, and waste bins, were never approved by the Assembly or tailored to each ward's specific climate needs.
This deal was done illegally, if I may say, because I was not involved. There's a very bad sabotage in these people called executive. Most of the executive, especially the chief officers, who are implementing whatever we passed in this house, all of them are, I think, less than 2 are willing to vibe these seats that you're holding.
Susan Nganga, GBS News, Kirinyaga County.
Machakos County has unveiled its 6th fully operational fire and rescue center. The newly commissioned Kyumbi Fire Station is already being hailed as a game changer in the county's emergency response operations. It was a proud moment for the Machakos County as Governor Wavinya Ndeti officially commissioned the Kyumbi Fire and Rescue Center, a state-of-art facility strategically located along the busy Nairobi-Mombasa highway. The modern emergency hub will offer round-the-clock fire response, rescue services, trauma counseling, and linkage to long-term support, transforming how the county handles emergencies. Governor Wavinya also thanked development partners, Purple Dot for the Center for Disease Control and the Kenya Red Cross for their unwavering support in bringing the Kyumbi Fire and Rescue Center to life, noting that their collaboration was instrumental in strengthening emergency preparedness in the county and reaffirmed the power of strategic partnerships in delivering life-saving services to the people of Machakos.
The power of partnership and symbol of our shared dedication to say about the public health emergency response. This project started in collaboration with CDC Atlanta. The center acts as an early warning system for public health emergencies. The center is among the 23 centers across the country. So far, the center has handled floods, Mpox, health emergencies. We are really ready and prepared for any health emergency. We appreciate our partners, CDC and Red Cross. Asanteni sana, Mwenyezi Mungu awabariki.
Today, let me confirm nikiwa mahali hapa. This is the real empowerment. Hii ya kupatia vijana wetu mambo kama hayo, a tank, mashini ya kuosha. Saa hii wakienda, they set up and they start doing business, they start earning and they move forward. Sasa huyu mjumbe wenu Mavoko mko na kiti, Kinani mko na kiti ya ugavana, alafu mtu ni wa familia ya gavana anatoka nje anaanza kusema anataka na anatembea huku, hata ndiye mtu ya kwanza nasikia na tusi county government, anasema hii anasema ile. Amekuwa kwa uongozi for more than 15 years.
Who does that?
Sasa saa hii tumepita hapa, nionyesheni mradi mmoja. Waendelee na hiyo, na wananchi mimi nataka niwaambie hao waangwana wakiamua kuja huku tuwaalike, tukuje kwa wingi, kwa sababu ile fedha wamebeba na mangunia ni fedha yetu, pesa yetu. Wakuje watupatie, na tuliambiwa na Rikiji na Kalonzo hiyo pesa mkule, msipeleke nyumbani, mkule hii mandazi ishe. Sawa sawa? Hiyo ni fedha yenu. Badala ya kufanya maendeleo, watu wanaanza kufanya kuimba fedha ndio waende kufanyia wananchi harambee. Hatutaki.
Indeed, a step in the right direction. Many thanks for joining this live broadcast. On that note, let us take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Fun Dance Class. Today we will continue learning about Jingle Bell Rock. Friends, first you cross your arm and put it on top of your head, and as you go in left side, you open it, then you come back to your place.
And then you make your leg 90 degrees, and then as you put your legs until 90 degrees, you need to jump a bit. 1, 2. Then as you jump a bit, you need to stretch your hands downwards.
Today is all about models. So girl Alison, you tuned into Art Club, the best art show in the whole of East Africa.
My name is Abigail Paula, but on my socials I go with Peaches Paula. Yeah. I did procurement and logistics.
How do you deal with those negative comments? I'm a rejection.
Yeah.
How do you advise people?
But the heaviness of it. Rejection is redirection.
Now you are crowned Miss Kenya UK.
Yeah.
Lakini before we get there, I want to know your journey towards that title.
Started with Miss Freshers.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I ended up being the first runners-up.
Topic of discussion leo is a hustle culture. Hustle culture, and this is working smart versus working hard.
Working hard is where nina hustle. I'm working like a donkey.
Unaweza pata maybe ulisoma, yes, maybe kumaliza shule, maybe hii inahitaji maybe diploma, maybe ulifika certificate level. So I feel pia knowledge inachangia sana.
Yes,
watu kukua kwa informed.
You have to like plan. You also have to delegate, and it's also sometimes about convenience. What is convenience for you?
Tunaweza work smart hata kama ni kwa informal jobs. Tuki-apply hiyo working smart, we can do something. Si lazima tu ikuwe ni kazi ile uko chini.
I'm picking a dare. Okay. What? Call your mom or dad and sing the chorus of their favorite song loudly. Mama Vanessa,
just a sing.
We are live on TV. I need to.
Which TV?
GBS TV. I'm on the Youth Hub and they want me to sing you a song. I've been dared to sing your favorite song. So
no, don't sing that one, man.
No.
Sing yours.
No, I will sing a nice one. I know many of your songs.
Sing Daddy's song.
I sing Daddy's song, fine.
Loudly, read.
I love you.
Shout.
You're my baby. I love you. You're the best. Bye, mommy. Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I know.
A student can transition from other curriculums, such as the Kenyan CBC curriculum, the Pearson EdExcel curriculum, and the IB curriculum, to the Cambridge curriculum.
Everywhere, GBS. Welcome back to the broadcast. Moving on, Kenya's diaspora remittances soared to a historic high of 638 billion Kenyan shillings, approximately $4.95 billion in 2024, according to President William Ruto and data from the Central Bank of Kenya. This marks a significant increase from 516 billion, that is $4 billion in 2022, and 542.9 billion Kenyan shillings, that is $4.19 billion in 2023, representing an 18% year-on growth. Here are the details.
The government is acknowledging a powerful force in Kenya's economic engine, the Kenyan diaspora. President William Ruto says the contributions made by Kenyans living and working abroad are not just significant, they are the single largest source of foreign income for the country. Speaking at State House, Nairobi, where he hosted representatives of Kenyans from 27 countries, President Ruto revealed that remittances sent home in 2024 hit a historic high of $4.95 billion. That's roughly 638 billion shillings. To put it in perspective, that's more than the nation earns from tea, coffee, or even tourism. These remittances don't just support families, they are fueling investments, stabilizing the economy, and boosting the country's foreign reserves. And it doesn't stop there. Through the Labor Mobility Program, nearly 400,000 Kenyans have secured jobs abroad over the past 2 years.
You've also allowed us, Your Excellency, under your guidance to set up the global labor market strategy that structures government's response to the issue of unemployment and the global labor market. Under your guidance, sir, in the last 2 years, the diaspora has grown by 400,000 because of people who are going to find these opportunities. And you've struck...
The president noted that the government now knows exactly who these workers are, where they are based, what they do, and what they earn, a move aimed at better supporting them.
In just 16 months, actually to be exact, not even 2 years, in 16 months, we have placed 393 as of when, Rosalie? As the end of April, 393,000 Kenyans on jobs abroad. And now we know them. We know where they are. We know what job they are doing. We know how much salary they are earning. And we can account for each and every one of them.
To make the process easier, the passport application system has been streamlined. Now, successful job applicants can get their passports in under a week.
Going to work abroad, we are going to do several things for you. We have now created a green channel for the people who want to have a passport to go and work abroad. If you have a letter of employment, within 2 days, maximum 3 days, you have your passport.
In a major cleanup of the recruitment space, Ruto announced that over 1,000 rogue agencies accused of defrauding job seekers have been deregistered. The president had a special message for Kenyans living abroad. Be proud ambassadors of Kenya.
I want to ask of you that you speak about your nation well. You know, there are people who go out there and they speak as though they have another country. This is our home. This is our nation. We were put here by God deliberately. We are not here by accident. Let all of us make a contribution towards making Kenya better.
He urged them to represent the country with dignity and help attract investment back home.
And now to matters international news. King Charles III of Britain welcomed Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky to Windsor Castle in London yesterday before Zelensky meets Prime Minister Sir Starmer, where they will talk about Russia's war in Ukraine. Here is more on this same.
King Charles III of Britain yesterday welcomed Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky at the Windsor Castle before hosting the Ukrainian leader at his Berkshire Royal residence ahead of the leaders' meeting with the United Kingdom Prime Minister Sir Starmer in London in the afternoon. All this comes ahead of the NATO summit scheduled to take place this week in London.
Experience. Yes, exactly.
President Zelensky and Prime Minister Starmer are expected to hold a talk on the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Zelensky has visited London several times since Russia invaded his country in 2022.
Do you want a handshake? Would that be helpful?
Would you be kind enough to do a handshake?
Thank you so much.
This will President Kuzberg. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Meanwhile, as President Zelensky is in London, in Ukraine, Russian drones and missiles killed at least 10 civilians in an overnight attack. 7 people are reported dead in the capital Kyiv, while emergency crews race to search for people believed to be trapped under a partially collapsed apartment building. Victor Ujun.
Oil prices tumbled and global stock markets rallied on Tuesday after U.S. President Donald Trump claimed Israel and Iran had reached a ceasefire, while Tehran denied a formal deal. Signs of de-escalation boosted investor confidence and eased fears of broader conflict in the Middle East. Here are the details. Oil prices dropped sharply on Tuesday following U.S. President Donald Trump's claim that Iran and Israel had agreed to a ceasefire. Although Iran's foreign minister denied any formal agreement, he indicated that Iran would halt attacks if Israel stopped what he called its illegal aggression. Brent crude, the international benchmark, slid more than 2% in early trading, adding to Monday's 9% plunge after Iran issued a limited response to a U.S.-based strike and signaled it would not escalate further. Market analysts believe the sell of many have been an overreaction. Jason Brown, president of Alexis Investment Partners, suggested the steep decline could be tied to investors quickly reversing previous bets on rising prices amid Middle East tensions. The easing fears of a potential blockade of the Strait of Hormuz, a critical route for global oil, has helped calm the markets.
Again, a lot of that is people that maybe put on some hedges because they were worried that the prices were going to go up significantly. Now they got to unwind those hedges. It's probably a little bit of an overreaction at the moment. So expect some volatility there, but we don't expect huge spikes.
Global stock markets responded positively to the signs of de-escalation. Benchmark indexes in Tokyo and Hong Kong rose more than 1%, while South Korea's Kospi jumped 2.5%. Tech stocks led gains in Japan, with Tokyo Electron up to over 4%. As risk appetite returned, traditional safe havens like gold also dipped, with prices falling for over 0.5% in Asian morning trade. Tensions remain high in the Middle East tonight. Israel's military says Iran launched multiple waves of missiles earlier today, just hours after U.S. President Donald Trump announced a complete ceasefire between the two nations aimed at ending the 12-day war. Witnesses reported hearing explosions near Tel Aviv and the southern city of Beersheba. Emergency services confirm that 3 people were killed in Beersheba, marking the first reported deaths in Israel since the ceasefire was declared late Monday. The Israeli army says a total of 6 waves of missiles were fired from Iran. Here is that report.
Capital Doha on Monday, after Iran launched missiles targeting a U.S. airbase in the city. The attack came as response to U.S. airstrikes over the weekend that hit Iranian nuclear sites. Those strikes happened after the U.S. joined Israel's air campaign against Iran. But just a few hours later, U.S. President Donald Trump took to his social media platform to announce what he called a complete and total ceasefire between Israel and Iran. He praised both countries for what he described as the courage and wisdom to end the 12-day war.
Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier.
Trump also claimed Iran had warned the U.S. in advance of the missile strike in Doha, something he said helped avoid any casualties. Earlier that same day, Israel carried out an airstrike on a political prison in Tehran, signaling its continued readiness to target not only Iran's military and nuclear facilities, but also key government infrastructure. Meanwhile, Iran's foreign minister posted on X that there is no official ceasefire deal yet with Israel. He added that Iran is ready to stop its attack if Israel halts its airstrikes. Shortly after that statement, Israel's military said missiles alerts were sounding again due to a new launch from Iran. We will continue to monitor the developing story and bring you the latest on the fragile and uncertain ceasefire between Israel and Iran. Reporting for GBS TV, I'm Paul Elmine.
And that international news brings us to the sports news. Let's get sporty. President William Ruto today met the winners of the Kenya Premier League, the Kenya Police team, at State House in Nairobi. Ruto congratulated the team and promised to improve the sports sector in the country. Here are the details.
From these to today.
Thank you. Teams will go to the right. Team, let's go to the right.
Having a breakfast at State House in Nairobi today with the head of state. The 2024-2025 FKF Premier League champions, the Kenya Police, are on cloud 9, being crowned and rewarded. And even President William Ruto could not believe the news that the Kenya Police team had outshone the FKF Bulldog teams to carry the prestigious trophy.
So, I must confess that when Raymond told me that the Kenya Police have won the Premier League, so I was asking him, which one? You know? Where was Gor Mahia? and the FC walikuwa wapi? You know? Or is it another one yenye imeanzishwa yenye iko kad? Ni hiyo. And so when he told me, no, ile Premier League tu hiyo watu yote walikuwa huko ndani na tukawakaranga.
The president pledged to improve sports infrastructure in the country.
At the moment, I have also given very clear direction that we improve on as many of our sports facilities and stadia in Kenya as possible. We've just concluded the stadium in Bungoma. We've just taken over the stadium in Kakamega. I have given instructions that we take over the stadium in Siaya. In Kisumu, we are now working on a new stadium. In Bomet, we are working on a new stadium. In Kapkatet, we are working on a new stadium. In Kapsabet, in Eldoret, in Kamarin, in Ruringu, in Olkalau. We are all working on new stadia, including in Maua, in Meru, and shortly we will be handing over the stadium both in Chuka and in Meru to for management, as we make sure that we consolidate as much sports infrastructure as we can.
And to reward and crown the champions, President Ruto pledged to look for a sponsor for the team.
So, as a Kenyan, I am going to look for some friends also to support this team. I know you have requested me that there are some gaps, and they have told me there is a gap of about 50 million shillings every year. Yeah? So I'm going to look for friends who will close that 50 million gap. Right? So nikifunga hiyo 50 million gap, nyinyi mfunge pia bao ya next year mkwe. Ama ni aje? Is it a deal? Yeah, very good.
Even as he directed Interior Principal Secretary Raymond Omolo to find a bus for the team.
You want a bus so that you can move around, especially in your... So we will get you a good bus. I will get you a very good bus. Tatengeneza bus mzuri. So wabi muti yangu ya mkono hapo. Comptroller yuko hapa, lakini sasa wewe Raymond utafuatana na huyu comptroller, muende mtengeneze bus mzuri. Alafu we hand over to these people. Wawe wanazunguka naye.
Present at the event was Sports Cabinet Secretary Salim Vuria.
To that vision, and as a ministry we are very happy because the two teams make a huge contribution to the national team. As we celebrate, we are also in line with playing for the Africa Champions in August. And I know that the Harambee Stars, there will be a lot of contribution from Kenya Police Service. The best strikers that we have come from Police FC.
Interior Principal Secretary Raymond Omolo, who doubles as the Kenya Police team patron.
Mr. President, today I'm a very proud patron of this prestigious club. Just like the chair has said, we have arrived in this town, and being the new champions, I want to commend the management and most importantly, the players who've made this possible.
Mining and blue economies as Hassan Joho, among others.
When I look back just a few years ago, when the men's team was still competing in the National Super League, NSL, what has happened since then feels almost surreal. We came from those tough and certain days, climbed into the Kenya Premier League, fought hard to build a squad, lifted the Mozart Bet Cup. And now here we are, FKF Premier League champions.
Victor Zin. GBS News at 9.
A groundbreaking chapter begins in Olympic history. For the first time, a woman and an African has taken the helm of the International Olympic Committee. Christy Convetry, a decorated Olympian from Zimbabwe, was officially inaugurated as IUC president on the organization's 131st anniversary. Our sports reporter Elvis Muyondi takes us through the historic handover and what it means for the future of the Olympic movement.
On the 131st anniversary of the International Olympic Committee, a history moment unfolded. Kirsty Coventry, a two-time Olympic gold medalist from Zimbabwe, was inaugurated as the first woman and the first African to lead the IOC. In a ceremony held in Lausanne, Swaziland, outgoing President Thomas Bach handed over the reins after 12 years in office. He praised Coventry's Olympic spirit, calling her leadership by the values of sport.
You have placed your trust in someone whose life story is deeply rooted in the Olympic movement. As an Olympian, she knows what it means to live the Olympic values. She knows how to lead with courage. She is driven by a desire to give back to our Olympic movement that has shaped her life. Now she makes history, Mrs. Kirsty Coventry.
On her part, Coventry expressed deep gratitude, vowing to lead with courage and a commitment to the athletes and the global Olympic community.
I am really honored that I get to walk this journey with you, and I cannot wait for anything that lies ahead, because I know I have the best team to support me and our movement in these next 8 years. Thank you so much for being here with all of us today. And thank you from the bottom of my heart for the next 8 years as we take on this journey. Thank you.
As she begins her 8-year term, guiding the movement through the events like the LA 2028 Games, Coventry brings a fresh vision rooted in inclusion, unity, and the enduring power of the Olympic dream.
As the Olympic movement, as federations, as NOCs, as our sponsors and our partners, we are the guardians of this incredible platform. And it's not just about a multi-sport event. It's a platform to inspire. It's a platform to change lives. And it's a platform to bring hope. These are not things taken lightly. And I'm looking forward to working with each and every one of you to make sure that we continue to inspire, continue to change lives, and in our divided world today, continue to be a beacon of hope.
Elvin Muyodi, GPS Sports.
In what was meant to celebrate triumph, Real Madrid's 3-1 Club World Cup victory over Pachuca was overshadowed by troubling allegations. Defending Antonio Rudiger, a cornerstone in the team's resilient performance, reported being the target of racist abuse at the final whistle. While it remains unclear whether the abuse came from an opposing player or the crowd, the seriousness of the claim has prompted an immediate response. That sports news brings us to the end of our bulletin tonight. As always, here at GBS News 9, we make your news our business. My name is Beatrice Wangoi. Our sign language interpreter is Alan Kiama. Good night.
Everywhere, GBS.